It's the Tesla Life with your host, Mark Cogman!
Hello, everybody. How does Patrick do this without breaking out laughing as he's doing it? I don't know, but thanks very much for the intro, Patrick. Welcome, everyone, to the Tesla Life number 242. Here we are, the 23rd of February. February is almost over. We got like 5 days left, and it's gone, and then we're into March. Spring is coming, my friends. Hold on a little longer. We're almost there. Well, welcome to the show, everyone. With us, as always, or most times, we have Mr. Patrick Connor joining us from the Northwest. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. Hello out there, Tesla Nation. I'm here to tell you guys all about how we're helping to bring about a future free from fossil fuels.
Gets it done early. Very good. Very good. Also joining us, as per usual, Mr. Casey Green from the DC area. How are you today, sir?
You can get your truckers back.
They're done with Ottawa, and as of this weekend, they're heading to DC.
Oh, they've already started staging. Like, I went up to get these glasses. The first set were had a defect, and the guy who adjusts them for me, he said, "Yeah, I thought they'd already started because there were so many trucks." At first, the way that they were done, he thought that they might have perhaps been the maybe just a mobile blockade instead of fences, and then he saw the news and realized that this is none of that. Yeah.
I hope it does not affect you guys too much.
I agree, because they said that for us, they're going to try and block the freeway. The lucky thing is that aside from the Tesla trying to use the freeway exclusively, even when it's jammed up, I think it needs more than 4 miles of traffic jam before it tries to take side roads around here. I can at least see the colors, and then just manually take it off onto the road I need it to use.
Yeah, you're going to have to manually judge this weekend for sure. Over the next week, I guess it's probably going to be in effect. So,
yeah, I've read some stuff about how this movement's been hijacked by people who are not at all truckers, but have an agenda of their own. And anyway, I don't want to get into politics, so let's leave that one alone.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, let's get into it. There's always news happening in the Tesla Life.
Before we jump into the news, can I talk about my travel trip here?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So we decided to take the Model X and have over the long weekend a little ski vacation, and so of course this corresponded with an Arctic blast coming through here. So we had some cold nights. At one point at Timberline, it was -8 overnight, so Fahrenheit, and that's pretty cold. So unfortunately, the Airbnb we were staying in did not have a garage available to us. And so the car is out in the cold all night on its own, no place to plug in for it to run its heaters. And I've taken it up skiing several times. It's always done great. Although this time when we're heading over to the ski area, boop, some error message pops up when I hit the defrosters. And it was a BMS error, and it said, vehicle may not restart. And I'm like, I'm driving to the ski area. What am I supposed to do? Do I turn around now? Do I? Is it just a 12 volt? Do I need a jump? Or I have no idea what to do. Right. So we went anyway, and luckily when we came back to the vehicle, it started and got back. And I did find a 120 volt outlet and plug in, but that didn't really help anything. I was still getting the same error messages. And so the cool thing was in the app, I just went to service, and one of the options was for recent error codes, and I said that one, and then it had a list of codes. I hit the one that was causing this big problem, and so now I have service scheduled for Friday. The car worked. It got us home today, although I had no regen, so that was really weird. And if I'm used to one pedal driving, and now here I am, I can't do that anymore. we stopped and we charged on the way home. That was slow, a lot slower than usual. And not only that, it failed twice, and I had to reboot the car to get it to start charging again. So knowing that little trick helped at least get enough juice to make sure we could make it home. And now the service techs just sent me a note saying your vehicle may not be drivable. We suggest you have it towed in for service.
Whoa.
And I was looking at the estimate, and what the problem seems to be is the thermal management fluid, the heater's gone out, so they couldn't heat the batteries, which would make sense. You wouldn't want to be able to, regen and overload them, or charge supercharge too quickly and overload them. So that's how my little trip ended. Luckily, the vehicle still did what it needed to do to get us back home. So that would have been really bad.
So you had heater, and I lost.
You have one charging stop between you and the vacation, or more
Correct.
than one?
Just one.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and I could probably make it there and back without charging at all, but since I knew I was going to be there several days and doing this trip back and forth, and I knew it was going to be cold, we'd want to run the heaters. I did a full charge, which I don't normally do at all, on the way up, and that was nice to have that extra when I was worried about stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's an interesting turn of events. I really like the ability that the error code, you can pick that from your right from the service app portion of your Tesla application. That's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
But well, you'll have to give us an update next week. See if we can it was a normal service call. Like when they say you should tow it. Are you going to try that, or are you going to try driving it there?
So since the service is Friday afternoon, my plan is to try driving it down Thursday evening and dropping it off. And then if I can't get it started or that won't work or whatever, then I'll have it towed Friday morning.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to try driving first. Since it drove home fine, it's certainly power limited. Like I said, no regen. And I think I could only go to 75 kilowatt for acceleration, which was fine. I mean, it's like a third of what it can normally do, but
like a Camry.
Yeah. So yeah, my 0 to 60 time is now double digits, but that's okay. That's it took hills, no problem. And yeah, it was not a short drive. I'm not sure exactly how far, but yeah, it was probably 80 miles that we've.
So it was probably a bit of a nail biter for you as you're going along. You're going, come on, keep with me all the way.
Right. When it says vehicle may not restart, every time I'm stopped, I'm like, this could be it.
And you have to remember to brake out of situations rather than try to power out of situations.
Yes, more than once I let off the accelerator and I'm like, I'm still going. Oh no, move over to the brake.
I meant like, when you're trying to avoid the numpties on the road.
Yes.
My usual response is just to drive away from them. When you're limited to 75 kilowatts, you then got to remember to slow down so their craziness goes past you.
Right, which is my default mode anyway.
Oh, okay.
I'm not an aggressive driver, so that's fine. Let them go, and if you get in front of them, then they're just going to want to pass you again, and you're making it worse. And so yeah.
So I'm lucky then. All of my people are just not looking, and so if I just pop out of nowhere, they're like, "Oh, where'd that big thing come from?" And then they just get back to what they were doing. I forgot about regular just road rage. Yeah, you don't want to cut somebody off who's already seeing red,
already on the edge. Absolutely.
Yeah. And now I don't even have that option. So
right. So you lost your heat. I lost my air conditioner, and I have an appointment on the 1st. So. Oh
wow! Yes, yeah.
A little less critical for the air conditioning in February.
You need air conditioning for supercharging to work, and when the temperature gets up above 60 with the helicopter windshield, it gets to 80, 90 inside the car like that.
Well, I wouldn't have suspected that for February at all.
Yeah, we had record cold temperatures here in February, which was weird because earlier in the month it felt like spring. And now we have this Arctic blast coming. And now the East Coast, I guess, they're having record highs.
Yeah, we're at highs tonight. Today we were at 75, and tonight we have wintry mixed morning.
Yeah, it's flip a coin. What's the weather today? Pick a season. It could be any of them.
Do you like weather? Yes.
Okay, Mark, I'm sorry I distracted you.
Sorry.
No problem. Casey's got our first story this evening.
I do. So over here at the Tesla Life, and then over with Omar on the other thing, we like to tell you about anytime there's a police EV. So this evening we've got you a police EV from the town of Bridgewater. Theirs isn't actually done yet, so what they showed us was a render. And if Mark's got that render, I can share it on the screen. I suggested that the way that they've done their lettering, they should perhaps make sure that their words appear on just one door, because the way that they have it set up now is another case of it would end up on the Reddit thread where people have their corporate livery where it spells stuff you don't want it to spell. So like with the door open, it'll spell Poe, and in the back door will say lice.
Yes.
I never thought of that. Yeah, it's the
you got all the contractors like so and so and son, and it's like it doesn't say what they wanted it to say once you open the van door.
Right, you gotta be careful of that stuff.
Yes.
If they push it over a little bit further, it could say pull ice.
Or that, yeah. Both would be bad because they're not Interpol or immigration control. Yeah. So that was a fun one, and as they announced it, they were pointing out how much money they intended to save, and it looks like they were using numbers from other departments, or maybe they have another EV that they've got some numbers to base their theory on, and that's exciting to see that. As we've been saying time and time again, once you put the bean counters in charge of the fleet, I mean they already were, but once you put them in charge of like being able to pick an EV or a fossil, they're going to pick an EV every time. And
this will be interesting, as this will be the first Tesla patrol car in Canada when it comes to fruition. No other police department has actually put one on the road yet. I know Vancouver area was looking to put one on the road, but that has not happened yet. So Bridgewater, Nova Scotia could be the first. So
cool.
We look forward to that.
From all the showing off, I figured that they'd already done some patrol cars, but I guess not.
Nope.
Wow.
That'll be the first one to the dance. So
Nice.
yeah.
And once one's there, then the other police departments can talk to them about it. How's it working? What are the numbers? Does it really save as much as we thought? And it's going to be somebody they trust.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly.
So the next question is, are they going to join the Tesla Club? And what are they going to do with all the discussions about whether or not you should put your front plate on?
I think they'll probably fall in the compliance of the law category.
Oh, I agree. I just wonder how they're going to react as they see these discussions go on. Other than say, nah.
Next, Patrick's got a story about GigaFactory Texas.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about Giga Texas a couple times tonight, but this one in particular that's pretty cool is more than 100 Model Ys have been spotted undercover at Giga Texas. And so are these going for delivery? Because if so, I've won the bet. We don't know yet if they're just test vehicles or if they're going to be crash tested or where they're going to end up. But as you know, the drone police are out there all the time. Actually, the drone army, as we call them.
Army.
Yes, they're always flying around, and these vehicles are under car covers. And as we know, Giga Texas is doing some cool stuff with the Model Y. It's the structural battery pack. Is it just the rear casting or front and rear that they're doing?
Front and rear to get structural.
Yeah. So right. Yeah. So the newest casting, the newest batteries, it's all cool stuff. So if they actually start delivering these, now the only problem is, how do I get one on the West Coast? Mine would come from Fremont. How do I order a Model Y from Texas? That's what if anybody knows, leave that in the comments because I want to figure it out. Can I have it delivered to Oklahoma?
Tell them you live in Texas. Tell them you live in Texas, but you can't pick up there because, of course, no one can sell to Texas. Just send it over to Portland.
Then you'll still get a Fremont car. Tell them you live in Oklahoma.
Right. Yes. I'll get a P.O. box in Oklahoma and ask them to deliver it there.
Yeah. So one thing that stands out with these particular covers is they're unlike anything that the Tesla has ever used for shipping car covers before. Mm-hmm. The closest we've seen to this was the white VW style bag with the zipper around the driver's door for the early Model 3 performance editions. Whereas everything else you'll see with them is either just a naked car shipping with the paint just flapping in the wind, or maybe a bumper cover, or a whole thing is wrapped, or the clear wraps. And
Right.
this is unique because it's a complete cover. There's no like at least on that Model 3 situation, there was like you could see through the windshield. You can't. These are covers. You can't see through them at all.
I have a feeling that it's something to do with the construction that's still going on at the factory. A
Mm.
lot of
So you have
earth
to
moving
repaint 'em?
equipment, a lot of kick up of dust and clay particles, construction vehicles moving around, throwing rocks, possibly from tires, things of that nature.
Yeah,
They
Hockey
might
Day
want
agrees
to,
with you.
yeah, they might want to take extra care. And I think it was about 100, a little bit over 100 vehicles that were shown under these covers, and then apparently the next day 50 of them had been moved or so, were gone. They were put on car carriers, they were gone.
Yeah.
So again, the drone army's keeping track of this. We'll see if those hundreds turn to many hundreds or thousands shortly, or if this is just a couple of runs for alignments, or what might it be? Not sure. There
Mhm.
were some different colors, and it looked like most of them had the standard rims on them as opposed to the performance rims. So we'll have to keep an eye on this to see as they move along. But to this date, today, we haven't heard anybody actually accepting a delivery of a car from Texas yet. So we're still waiting. I know many people are hoping to get one, but we haven't even seen anybody claim or come up with the proof that their VIN has come from Texas.
Right.
So the protection angle makes sense now, because when you look at how much these car covers cost retail for Tesla, and then you consider they're going to get them, from the parts department without the box, that sort of thing. It would be cheaper to buy a bunch of car covers than to repaint or even touch up any even just the smallest of little scratches.
Right.
And
I
then if
like
you take them
David's
off,
point.
yeah.
Oh, that if so today Tesla often does plastic wraps, and then those have to be peeled off and thrown away, and that's a lot of waste. Maybe this is going to be how they transport the cars from now with these reusable covers, and
Could be.
it could be their next generation method.
It would be other than the zipper. I think it would be an easier way to do it than what they did for the Model 3 Performance with the white bag and the zipper and the clear plastic windshield. Although then you'd have to trust the trucker to get on, eight covers at a time without scratching the car, unless they're going to put windows in them.
Exactly.
Good point.
So we'll have to see.
We'll find out.
But this little bit of these new photos came in, prompted a lot of questions. So we'll have to see if it's construction or if it's something else.
The ones we saw in the
Next
transport,
story.
they didn't have anything on them, did they?
No.
Okay.
Next story, we're going to take a look at a rail line. And you may say, what does a rail line have to do with anything with Tesla? Well, Brightline is a newer high-speed rail line in South Florida that runs along the East Coast from Miami northward. And actually, they're about to connect to Orlando as well. But they have picked up a fleet of Model Ys. So 15 Model Ys have been purchased for Brightline. And the reason they bought these vehicles is that they're using them for last mile travel. So if you buy a ticket for the Brightline high-speed rail, they will come and pick you up, and they will drop you off in the station neighborhood that they're located in. So that's kind of a interesting. We always talk about that last mile of travel. This is kind of a nice little service that they're including within the ticket for Brightline, that they'll come pick you up, they'll come drop you off after your travel into the main station, I believe, in Miami area. They haven't got this going on in the northern part, but if this is successful, if customers like it, I'm sure they'll roll it out further to other stations and stops. But at this point, just in Miami. But here's the Brightline. Good idea. And if I was a customer of Brightline, I would certainly use that. Love to be able to be dropped off at the station or picked up at the station for a quick ride home. So hats off to Brightline.
A much better experience than a Uber or taxi.
Absolutely.
To get to the train, like the train people just come get you, and then you transfer from their Model Y to the train.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Very good. Next, Casey's got a story about, Patrick already touched on it, body casting.
Oh, I thought Patrick was taking this one.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
This was mine. Yeah.
Got that mixed up. Patrick, take it away.
Yeah, so as we know, Tesla is a very innovative company. And one of the things that they're doing is body casting, single piece or front half, back half. And they have now filed a patent. This is for a single piece casting that includes integrated energy absorption. So that is Crumple Zones, as you might know them. One of the big concerns I heard after the first Cybertruck reveal was, oh my God, that thing's just going to kill people because it won't crumple. No, of course it's going to have crumple zones. They know how to make safe vehicles. And here is yet another example of that, where Tesla is purposely making these Model Y castings that have portions of them where they can control where the crumples happen when there's an impact. And that way it's not just whichever part happened to be the weakest that day, it crumples, and then it may or may not be the right spot. They're making it so that when they do these crash tests, they'll have repeatable results, whether it's a side impact or front impact or quarter front impact. They have worked out all of those, and they've put in crumple zones as part of the casting, which is a really cool way to do it, because you can't just make a rock solid vehicle. Otherwise, you end up liquefying the people inside of it when it hits anything, right? So you want to absorb the energy. You want to elongate that collision instead of just hitting a hard wall. You want it to be more like hitting a pillow, although at much higher velocity. You want absorption, right? So that's what this is. This is meant to control this so that you are far more likely to walk away from an injury. And Tesla they have the safest vehicles on the road, and they're continuing to do that here. And they're making sure that when they come up with innovations like casting, they're not giving up other safety things to make it happen. So I just thought that was a cool idea. And I hope they actually do follow through with this patent. Often patents are, pie in the sky ideas. This one looks like it's very practical and going to be used.
Another concern that people brought up is repairability. And Elon pointed out that if it's a minor collision, that the body shop can just cut off the broken part and weld in a replacement structure. And I'm guessing that a lot of folks don't have experience with Tesla certified repair shops. They can actually order pieces today, and in fact there was a local car that actually got into 2 front end collisions where the driver was not at fault. They got their Plaid, and then somebody took out the front end, and the insurance company said, okay, Tesla certified shop, repair it, and it was like new. And then it got hit again, same spot, and this time it was
very
totaled
unlucky
out.
person.
Right. I think he had his car back for 5 days, and it got hit in the same spot, and it looked like it was another high speed impact, and it looked like as it should have the first time, and the repair shop was like, hey, this is why we're certified, because we were able to get everything back to spec, and if we had just restretched the frame and put some new skin and paint on it, and this guy would not be here today because that repair would not have been back to original specifications.
Right. Yeah. So that's another thing that they're doing is with this casting, they're not giving up on repairability. So just like you said, if you think that all the way through when you're making the casting, you can have cut spots, you can have bolt spots, for replacement parts. It doesn't have to be like, oh, we have to recast the entire body because you have a fender bender. No, they're smarter than that. Come on.
Yeah, and if it took out the whole front or the whole rear cleanly, then you could just bolt on a whole new front or rear with skin. But generally, if you're in a collision that severe, it's going to transfer into the frame rails and the roof. And at that point, then the car, you might as well total loss it because it's going to be safer to build a brand new car. And they've built that into it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Speaking of building out, we talked a little bit about Texas already. We had a person on Twitter prompt Elon this week asking about, hey, it's great to see some cars are starting to roll out. Have you thought about when GigaFest Texas is going to happen?
April
and
1st.
To his surprise, Elon came back with an April 1st date, which prompted a whole bunch of people on social media to start booking things.
Whoops.
Hotels, bed and breakfasts, whatever. And then a little bit later, somebody had asked, he's saying April 1st. Elon's a bit of a jokester.
Yep.
Is that an April Fool's joke? And sure enough, Elon came back with, I meant 7th. So, it has changed now. So GigaFest in Austin is going to be on the 7th of April. And
I can't believe they didn't do it on 420. I mean, come on. That's so close. It's going to move. It's got to.
Then everybody will be pissed off at him changing their travel plans.
Yeah, for a third time. That would not be good. So that's and of course, for people to show up, they've got to be invited. And we're really not sure how the invites are going to happen. Obviously, this could be a really large event. Tesla has the ability, of course, to limit the number of people that are going to be coming. But there is a whole flurry of people across the nation that would love to attend. And since it's in the middle of the nation, travel times are a little bit shorter for some, and a lot of people are interested in participating. In fact, so much so that the group in Austin, the Tesla owners group, is putting together something called Teslacon Austin, which is going to happen around the GigaFactory day on the 7th. So
that's pretty smart.
They're anticipating that there's many people going to be showing up that may not even get an invite, but they want to hold some sort of event for all Tesla owners. So if you're interested in that, look up TeslaCon, and there's a website that you can read about what they're doing and sign up for the event. But as far as how Tesla is going to distribute the invitations, who knows? There's no indication of how it's going to happen. Elon hasn't leaked any information about how it's going to happen. Everyone's just guessing back and forth. I'm really hoping they do it fairly by putting up a website like they did in Berlin and allow people from different regions to put their want to attend, and then basically pull a draw based on that, based on being a certified Tesla owner. I think that would be an ideal situation, but we don't know how it's going to happen.
Well, if they don't move it to 420, I'd like to go.
I think you guys are right. They can't move it again. But we talked about when will we see the first Model Ys delivered out of Giga Texas? Could they do it at this event? Do you think they'll hand over some keys at this event?
Be an ideal time to do it because the media will be centered on them. There's going to be a huge amount of attention on the location. And to be able to hand off 20 or so vehicles in a quick ceremony, I think would be ideal for them to gather some more PR.
Yeah, that would be a great plan. It could happen.
Yep.
Assuming they get final certification, which I don't think they have yet. So they're getting close.
Yep. Getting close. So we're keeping an eye on it. We haven't quite crowned the winner of our little bet here on the Tesla life, but man, it's not looking good for me so far.
The good thing is that it's a corporation and not a human personhood. So other than being able to sell directly, they will be able to do exactly whatever they want for the most part.
Right. Yeah. So Hockey Day brings up the point they can't sell directly in Texas. So maybe they'll have to drive them to Oklahoma and back and then deliver them.
No. Everybody who flew in gets to drive out in their car.
Right, but no Texans can have a delivery. Only
Right.
out-of-staters.
Oh, wouldn't that be a slap in the face for Texans? That's just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
man.
would have
Drive,
loved
David.
to have had someone local here to receive their vehicle, but your governor said no.
Oh,
especially
that would
with
not
his
be a good
comments,
PR move at
especially
all.
with his comments about building a
You're
case
right.
against the SEC. He might be building a case against the legislature of Texas.
Yeah, he wouldn't slam
Yeah.
the governor.
No,
He gets
No, not the
out of
governor.
not at
but
this
the,
point.
Yeah,
the
you're right.
legislator.
You're
He's
right.
put them off every 2 years whenever they meet since 2012.
Well, also speaking of an update, a change in plans, you may remember that back about a year ago, Elon talked about building a supercharger in Santa Monica, downtown,
Mhm.
and providing a restaurant and a drive-in that would show clips of the best movies from Hollywood. And well, the Santa Monica Charger got built after a long battle with the local city, and of course that went up pretty quick. 26 chargers are up and running, and I guess another group of them are going to go online later. But Elon had commented on where the drive-in theater was, where the the diner would be. And he's come back with they're going to change plans and put those items at a new supercharger in the Hollywood area. So this is another future charger to open. Not sure why it was moved. I'm thinking it's kind of that Santa Monica City was a little bit
They probably didn't want a diner
sticky
right there.
when it came to getting the supercharger built in the first place, because they were really somehow set that Elon was going to build affordable housing. I don't know where they got that from, because I have yet to have seen a Tesla home come out of Fremont factory, but it was something that Santa Monica City Council thought that they could do.
Well,
So
I mean,
maybe
you
they
put the apartments
Tesla
above.
maybe Tesla decided that, you know what, let's get supercharger built real quick. Let's not make any changes, any updates to the plans, so Santa Monica City Council can't come back to us and stop things or put things on hold. So they did so, sticking strictly with superchargers, and the diner / drive-in theater type concept is going to be Hollywood. So we will keep an eye on that and see when that starts to come down the pipeline.
This is going to be a really cool thing.
The kitchen, because like a couple pizzerias I've seen where that was the case, they burnt, and it's like, does your apartment burn with them, or do you hope they get there in time? I'm sorry. Go
ahead, Patrick. What was that?
Yeah, so I can see why this is going to be a really cool place, and you're going to be Tesla owners are going to be hanging out there and spending money, and you wouldn't want to put that into a community that barely let you in. You'd want to put it someplace where you're embraced. And
I mean, you might want to sell cars in a place where you put a factory.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same kind of thing. Yeah. So I could totally see after they had so much problems just getting this permitted that they're like, we're not going to gift you one of our coolest ones when you were such jerks. So we'll put it somewhere else. There's lots of places that really want us to be there. So pick another spot.
Yep. Yeah. And speaking of another spot, great segue, Patrick.
Look at that.
We've got some photos of a new Tesla store that has opened up in Salzburg, Austria. Get a load of these digs. This is just unbelievable. I've never seen a store. Look at this pod in the middle of the showcase up above, a board room.
That's like an owner's box. That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's a shot from in the owner's box looking out onto the cars below and the red carpeted bridge that runs end to end. So unbelievable. I've never seen a showcase.
They even have a plug for their local club there. Did you see that?
I did
Tesla
not.
Club Australia.
That was the last photo.
Austria.
There you go.
Oh yeah, nice.
Good eye. Yeah, I didn't know what that was. I didn't see the backdrop, but the the red carpeted covered bridge or bridge, open bridge, is just mind blowing.
Yeah.
So was this converted from something, or did they build this from scratch?
That it was converted from something. It wasn't a fresh build.
Because if it was a fresh build, it's like totally opposite of their current design language.
Yeah. So
they bought a museum.
Mm-hmm. Teslas look so cool from the top, especially look at our background there with the water drop on those windows are so awesome. That's one thing I especially love about the Model X is you just look up and see the sky. You don't have some pillar right in your face. And when I get in other vehicles now, I just like, I'm so claustrophobic.
Exactly.
After being in the X I have so much more visibility that I feel like other cars I have to look around to get the same kind of view, and it's yeah. So anyway, the top view is an awesome thing. That bridge is going to make people realize just how much better these vehicles are.
Plus, when you look down on top of the Model X, it's one of the few cars with a belly button. It's got an ultrasonic sensor on the spine in between the two doors, and it looks like a belly button.
You want to make sure the Falcon wings don't go too high and hit something.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Or the trunk.
Right. Yeah. I was in a parking garage and just opened the Falcon Wing door without even thinking about it. And then as I did, I realized there were pipes and all kinds of things. And I'm like, oh, wow, this could have been really bad. if this was a dumb door, it would have just smashed into that stuff. And I'd have a big bill right now. Instead, it sensed
2 big bills, one for your car and one for the plumbing.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. I could have broken a sprinkler pipe or something. That would have been really bad.
Mm-hmm.
That absolutely would be bad. Next, Casey's got a story about Miami as well.
Yeah. So we talked earlier about how Miami was receiving a proposal on a boring loop, and I think Mark's got a picture of the proposed map now that they've finalized their plans. We're looking at 15,000 commutes per hour when fully scaled, and 7,500 commutes per hour on the initial rollout. And they're looking to spend 185 to 220 $million for this loop, and this includes the option for them to expand it an additional 3 miles from the initial 6 miles. And these 6 miles of tunnel will be from stations along State Road 826 to the Golden Glades Transit System and Sunny Isles Beach.
Sorry, don't have that map photo available.
Oh, I've got one. It's just not as clear as the stuff that you bring up. So,
well, let's look at a fuzzy one because I got nothing. Very good. So there's the run to the beach.
Hard Rock, the beach. Get on down to the intermodal center. Yeah. Seems practical to me. And then, of course, once they expand it, everybody will be looking to get in on that, like we saw in Vegas. Like, that's stupid, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden it's built and like, can I get on? Can I get on? Here's some money, build me a station.
Yeah, that's the thing is they just got to overcome the first hurdle of building the first line. And then everybody has got a plan or a need for it to expand, definitely.
Right. Well, they saw
just like what happened with Vegas. They weren't even done the loop, and the resort world said we want in immediately, and they had signed up before the loop was even completed.
Yeah, I mean they can see what happens throughout history if you're not on a stop or an interstate exit or whatever the case may be. Like if you're missing the transportation, then you're going to lose the people, and they'll go to a business that builds up near where the people are. So
yeah. Exactly. So, we'll have to see if that gets accepted as is, or if there will be amendments or changes to the route.
Indeed.
Next, here's something interesting. We all know what's been going on with Giga Berlin, as Hockey Day has mentioned, our bridge over to troubled GigaFactory, as he has made a joke. But apparently, Tesla had plans in the background that they were going to start getting approval for a second Gigafactory in Germany, almost exactly the same as the first. not that they were going to do this, but they had in their agreement with Germany that they could ask for it, and they could head down that road if they chose to do so. And what has happened, of course, with GigaFactory Germany to this point is that there's been a number of bumps in the road with approvals, with getting the factory ready to go online. Even to today, there's been more stories about delays. So Tesla has decided to put those plans for a second Gigafactory on ice. On ice for this time period. They've decided that they're not going to move forward. And again, this wasn't a definite plan that they would move forward with a second factory, but this was written into the contract originally that they could ask for another one, and if they felt it was required or needed, they would start the process because of, as we've seen, it takes a few years to get these things rolling. So, and really not a surprise. Based on the speed bumps they've had in Germany, they probably want to sit back a little bit and just make sure things actually open and things start to run smoothly. And if there is demand in the future, they can always go back to this. But they're probably, just being a little bit cautious because what they've seen to this point. And I certainly don't blame them because, Giga Berlin has been a little bit of disappointment as it comes to the planning for this project and when it should have been open. Normally we would believe that cars would be shipping out of Germany already. None of us on this panel had the illusion that they were going to break any speed records with China, but at this point, Germany should be up and running.
Logically, it should have beat Austin because it had a 6-month head start.
It had a 6-month head start approximately. Yeah. So yeah, that's not a surprise based on what we've seen. Hopefully, it'll open soon and things will get back on track. But at this point, Tesla's probably holding their cards close to their chest and just going to see what happens and make sure that things open properly based on the timeline that they currently have in their hands.
Right. There are a lot of other countries in Europe they could build.
I was about to say that. Yeah, put an identical factory somewhere else.
Yeah. Next story, we've all heard about, of course, the Model 3 deal from Hertz, ordering 100,000 vehicles from Tesla and started to distribute those cars out to Hertz dealerships across the USA. There is a gentleman who calls himself the points guy, and that's because he's an expert on collecting points with, cards and companies, and he wanted desperately to rent a Model 3 from a Hertz. So he started to hunt down, depending on the areas he was traveling to, and he had found that there was availability. I believe it was in Oklahoma City. So he, with his Hertz points card, booked the location and said, yes, I definitely want the Model 3. And of course, if anyone's rented a car and they tell you what the car is when you rent it online, when you get to the location to pick up the car, a lot of the times you don't get the car that they had offered to give you in the first place. You get something else. They typically would not charge you any extra, but typically it would be a different car. So he was really concerned that his rental may get switched at the actual desk in the location he was arriving. But lucky for him, it was the Model 3 that was given to him. He had gone through reading about it, the car, understanding what can be done with it, understanding the free supercharging that was made available and is still available at this time. And he did indicate that when he picked up the car, it was 90% charged when he got in. Cool. So that's great. Hertz is taking care of that so that he can have a almost fully charged car ready to go. And he went through the software on the screen, He took some photos. We've got the link in the show notes, and you can go through all the details if you want to read about his experience from start to finish. But it was a successful rental. He would do it again. The price he was paying was about $163 or $167 a day. A little bit pricey, but I've also found on the internet with a few others commenting on their rentals, and you can get the rental from different places at a cheaper rate. Some of them have even said that they're just under $100 a day. So it really depends on where you get it and their availability, it seems. And of course, renting it at the airport is typically a higher rate than other places in the city, because they've got you on the convenience factor that you're already at the airport. You don't have a vehicle just getting driven to the on-site airport. You're willing to pay a little bit more, and typically that is the case. So if you're interested in doing so, there are options. And just think about looking around for off-airport pickup, and you might see some cheaper rates or some cheaper daily rates than what this gentleman had seen. But it's a good read, and it was a successful rental. He was very happy with the car, very happy with the Hertz employees, and happy with the drop-off as well. So all went well for him, and a good experience had by all here.
Awesome. I haven't read the points guy. In general, I kind of feel like those points optimization schemes are really your spending maximized schemes. So it's a fool's game for the most part, in my opinion. But hopefully, the points guy recognizes that and isn't putting people into that trap of spending more just to get some points.
Of the ones that I've seen, he and the others do tend to specify, hey, if you're already going to do this, then here's a way to get some extra points on it. But we don't recommend getting this because now you've got to spend an extra $4,000 to get this many points. It's like, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
But they'll still put it out there, so some people will do it even if it is not financially sound.
Right. It gets into a gamification mode, and there's just a part of your brain that loves that and wants to win. And don't be a chump. That is financial advice. Don't be a chump.
Don't be a sucker.
That's simple financial advice.
You can't go wrong with it. It's personalized just for you.
Next, we saw this coming, and what we've discovered is that Tesla is now rolling out the Plaid badge again. If you'll remember, back upon the rollout of the Model S refresh, they showed a badge, just like Casey has in his hands there. And what we've got is
with that, Casey. Let's see it. Okay.
This is the new badge that is being held up to the camera. And you may ask, what is the difference between the old and new badge? The major difference is that this one has no holes in it.
Easier to
smoother
keep clean.
And flatter. More aerodynamic.
That's right. So what we've got here is that's the new one. Here's what the old one looked like. Yeah. And you can see the paint and the ridges right through the logo. So you can imagine washing your car and getting some dirt in these cracks and crevices throughout the logo. You would never be able to keep it clean.
Especially the way the Tesla rear ends suck the dirt to them.
Exactly. So it was a big plus that they moved to this new logo type. And I was kind of disappointed when it disappeared initially. Only the first 200 cars given away had the Plaid logo, but
I thought it was only the first 30.
I understood it was a couple hundred were given it, and then it stopped. Okay. So it was disappointing that it did stop, but there's probably a good reason for it. Hopefully they'll go back to the people that already bought a Plaid, and they're able to get their Plaid stickers specifically back for them. But
That's the parts catalog, baby.
yeah,
emblem, not sticker.
emblem, graphic.
Yeah, there you go.
Hold yours up again, Casey. What is yours? Yours is an aftermarket, obviously.
Absolutely, because I don't have a Plaid. Get it back out of the bag here. Yeah, so it's a very faithful replica of the one that was.
So it's got the cracks and crevices in that one.
Yeah.
So now there will probably be aftermarket versions of the new one as well, too.
Yeah.
Unless Tesla sells them for like $5, then there'd be no point to do it.
Right. Oh, well, except like you said, you don't have a Plaid. So if I wanted to go get one and put it on my non-Plaid, Tesla's probably not going to sell it to me. But aftermarket will sell to anybody who has the $10 or whatever.
That's true. Pat, we're gonna need to get your VIN number for that Plaid badge.
2? Is that a number? I don't know.
Yeah, it was Plaid number 3.
Actually, a story about that when the Model 3 first rolled out, or I guess a little bit into the rollout, I had a couple of acquaintances that received their cars and it had no badge on the back. So they didn't get the underline with the red swoosh to indicate it was performance, or the long range did not have the Model 3 badge that came with it. And one of them who just had a long range did not have. They had the dual motor, but didn't have the performance package. They got their car back and had the one with the red underline on it.
Oh wow!
And they said, "Okay, that's fine. I don't have that, but I'm happy to display that." So there was a bit of there was some scrambling going on at the beginning when the Model 3 started to roll out. So
production hell.
Yeah, ours came badgeless, and they mailed us the badge like
they mailed you
like
one.
6 months later. Wow. It was not quick. Yeah, and that was fine. I'd rather have the car without a badge than no car waiting for a badge.
Yeah, that's definitely the lesser of two evils for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. Next, Casey's got a story about subscriptions. What's going on there?
As long as you don't live in Canada, they're here.
Sorry, Hockey Day.
Yep.
And Mark.
Well, basically just in the U.S. Because if you live outside of the U.S., you don't get it either. So now you can, we talked about how you could get the buy stuff from your screen because Tesla knew they were going to sell you some more stuff. But now they're making good. You can buy the annual subscription and get some months free, which is what we had been asking for the whole time. Hey, if I give you all the money up front, can you get 2 months free instead of the $9.99? And Elon told somebody yes, and as these things do, he said yes, and it happened. The other screenshot is showing in the app. You can then, if you're already subscribing, you can then switch to the annual plan again if you're in the US, which is nice.
Yep. Yeah. That'll save you a couple months on the fee. If you're going to keep it anyway,
you can get some of them points.
Why not? So. Exactly. Yeah. Premium connectivity is something that a lot of people enjoy.
Yeah,
connectivity and
is it FSD that way?
FSD, yes.
Right. Yeah. It's Tesla doesn't have to bill you every month, which whoever's processing their billing is going to be charging them some fees for that, and so they save some. You get 2 months free. You save some. It's good all around.
Yep.
Yeah, because they're going to get hit with a transaction fee and a cut. So if they can do one transaction, and then they just have the 1% to worry about rather than the extra 12 transaction fees. It doesn't look like they've turned on the FSD one time yet, but Elon did say yes to that as well.
Cool. Yeah, so with that coming along, and of course, you can do that from your subscription area inside your phone, right? On your application. You can just go in and make that change anytime. So Absolutely. If you're in the US, go check your app, and you can see the option of being able to change to the annual subscription over the monthly.
I suspect the reason that they didn't do the annual for the FSD yet is they don't want to have to honor these prices for after they raise the price again.
You're scaring me, Casey.
So I'm thinking once he decides how much the FSD and subscription plan will go up, then you'll have an annual plan on that. Is my suspicion.
Yeah, all the more reason to get an annual plan is that if you've bought the whole year and they change it like halfway through the year, well, you're already covered, so you'll save.
It's only $500 a month. You got that. No. But I can see them going for that.
If you do the math, we're probably looking at, I would guess, if FSD is going to be worth, say, $100,000 to buy out, we've heard that number tossed around, then that means that you're looking at 10 times the amount that it's currently at, roughly.
What is it now, 14 or 12,000?
It's 12, right?
12,
okay,
yeah.
So 12 divided by 60 is $200 a month. But I imagine that Tesla doesn't amortize over 5 years. So let's see, 12K over 3 years, $333 a month. And that's before it goes up in capabilities again. And you know what happens when they do that.
Exactly.
Right.
So be cautious if you're if you know you want FSD and you're keeping your car for what, over 5 years?
Yeah, 4 years I think was the breakover.
Then you're going to be better off to buy it up front because the monthly fees are not going to stay at $199 a month. It's not going to do that. So just be forewarned out there if you have interest in FSD.
Yep, do the math, make the right choice. More financial advice. Do the math, make the right choice. That also always applies. Don't be a chump, do the math, make the right choice.
Right, because my favorite is like
we should get a t-shirt that says that, don't be a chump.
My favorite is when they have the sales or the bundles where getting it off sale or off bundle is actually cheaper. But you got to do the math.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good. Well, if you're still with us on the show, we've come to the end. Thanks so much for watching with us today. Please give us a thumbs up at this point if you haven't already. Press that subscribe. Doesn't cost you a dime, helps us out, supports the show, and we would really appreciate it. And with that, let's go to some shout outs. Casey, what do you got going on this coming week?
So I still haven't put together that FSD 10.9 videos, but I definitely want to show the two different maps. And then at the this week I got FSD beta 10.10.2, which at first I thought I wasn't going to like it because the steering wheel was very clock-like, and that seems to have smoothed out. So I did a video in the rain because
Nice.
not very many people do that, and that seems to be my thing now. So you're going to tune to youtube.com/KCGreen, KACEYGREEN, and check out the FSD beta in the rain video when I get that done and put it up there.
Fantastic. Look forward to that. Patrick, any shout outs for the end of the show?
Sure, I'll do them in the other order. I am with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org. And I also blog occasionally at carswithcords.net. You can see right there. And I'll be putting all the gory details about how this service ticket goes. Was I able to drive there? Did I have to have it towed? How much did it cost? It'll all be in there.
Hopefully, if you tow it, it's before you start your trip and not like in the middle, because that would be unfortunate.
Don't jinx yourself on the show, Patrick. Gory details.
Yes. I hope it's a happy little
report
story.
on a successful service where nothing outside the ordinary happened. Everything was fine.
Well, the cool thing about Teslas and EVs in general is they generally you don't need a lot of maintenance. They have fewer moving parts. There's no oil filters and oil changes, fuel filters, all those things. Thousands of parts are not there. And the best part, no part. They don't break. But there are still a few. So, it's not like that. I've had this car now for 6 years and not had to have it in the shop very often. There was a problem with the seat. Yeah.
So both of our Model X's, yours got cold and mine got hot.
Right. Yeah. This is a menopause going on here. We got some hot flashes. And come on at age 6, I guess. It's a different life cycle for these vehicles.
6 years, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Let's stay away from that. I'm already in trouble now. All righty. All right. There you go, Mark. Take it away.
All right, great. Thanks very much. Again, thank you to the audience for watching. I want to thank Lee Moon for the music that we use every week. I want to thank Patrick for monitoring and updating our Facebook page, which is the Tesla Life #1. You can also follow us through the week on our Twitter feed. That is the Tesla Life. Look for us there. I also want to thank Casey, of course, for being the technical guru that keeps this live show running for us. Thank you so much for that. And with that, we'll connect next week, and we'll all find out together what's going on in the Tesla Life.
Yeah, if you catch us on the other show, it's out this week, so next week we'll catch you there too.
Bye, everybody. Stay positive. Test negative.